All right. Well, welcome back to another episode of Coach's Corner. This is Coach Alex. I'm here with Coach Joe as well as Coach Jaclyn today. We're pleased to have you guys regulars on this podcast and super informative. Lots of knowledge between these two coaches. So I'm a lucky guy. Today we're going to talk about client retention. All right. So this is going to be geared towards coaches or aspiring coaches out there. And we're going to talk about client retention and because we're not really here to just sell one-off programs, right? Or collect monthly payments from our clients. We're here to build lifelong relationships, transform lives, and create a fitness family that people never want to leave. That's what it's about, creating a community. Yes, client transformations matter, but loyalty, trust, and community matter more. Retention is about long-term impact and making people feel like they're a part of something bigger than a gym. So today we're going to unpack exactly how to make clients stick around for years. So let's get into it. Our agenda today, the real reason clients leave, and it's not always about results. Emotional buy-ins versus transactional coaching, systems and communication strategies that keep clients hooked, and then personalization and milestone tracking, and then how to use community to build retention. And lastly, we'll have an open Q&A strategy sharing. So let's start off with the first one. Coach Jack.
So I'll be talking about why clients truly leave, right? So most coaches might think that clients leave because they're not seeing progress, but it may be other reasons, right? So they may feel disconnected, they may not feel heard, and they may not know the next steps in their journey because all of us know who work with clients, their goals may change with time, right? And we should check in about that. So we should really ask ourselves, when's the last time we lost a client? Is it because of their results, or did something fall through the cracks emotionally? I know that when I'm training, I really try to get to know my clients and get very clear on their goals and create an action plan that we can track together to help them stay accountable and know that I am, helping them stay on track. Within that, listening to them, learning about them as a person and an individual is super important. Not just staying silent the whole workout. I mean, some clients talk and open up more than others for sure, but it's kind of gauging where they're at and meeting them where they feel most comfortable. So just thinking about that and asking Alex and Joe, like, have either of you lost a client in the last few months? What did that look like for you? And why do you think that might have happened?
You can go for it, Coach Joe, if you want.
Yeah, well, it's quite a few months back, but yeah, I lost a client. His reasoning, at first he tried to be all like, nice about it. I'm like, oh, I just don't have the time anymore. So I started diving into it, trying to retain him. And he was like, hey, look, what's going on is, I was just burning out on myself. He's like, you had me doing this and this and this. He's like, and then I just lost motivation because it got too strict. And then he started asking, he's like, why did it, turn up? I was like, well, I mean, you were plateauing. We were trying to fight through that plateau. So we were, we changed your diet up. We changed the workouts up. We changed everything. Like, your life behaviors that you were doing. We changed them up just to, keep the body, moving in the right direction. I was like, so yeah, I got a little restrictive for a little bit to get past that hurdle. I was like, give me another 2 weeks, man. Like you're going to see that transformation. And once you see that transformation, your motivation levels are going to pick back up. He didn't humor that. He ended up still overall quitting. But that was a hard one for me because it was like I see the potential. I saw the progress happening before our eyes, but he wasn't seeing it the way he wanted to see it. And overall, that caused him to want to tap out.
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the things, Coach Alex. One of the things we struggle with as coaches. A lot of times we like so full heartedly like want to give, like we want to do it for our client, right? And we gotta accept that like ultimately they have to do it for themselves. You can give them all the tools and be there for them, but you can't do it for them, right? And yeah, it's just tough when that happens because you really you could see the progress, you can see the changes, but maybe they have unrealistic expectations for themselves, or they're just creating excuses in their life, which has kind of led them to this point. Anyways, right? So, yeah, it's our goal to like really just put our all into it, but at the same time, we can't do it for these people, right? I personally, I feel disconnected, or I've kind of dropped the ball several times. So I try to take on too many things at once where like, maybe it took a little bit longer to get back to a client when they needed something. But I think part of the things that we kind of learn as we grow as coaches is setting realistic expectations, not just goals, but realistic expectations about communication. So like there's certain hours like I won't get back to you. If you text me at 9 o'clock at night, you're not going to hear back from me. You know, now every coach is different. It's up to you for your own parameters, but like I think setting those realistic expectations will help your client not feel unheard or disconnected from you, right from the start. But yeah, sometimes like Joe did, you can give it your all and still lose people. It's just going to happen, So
Yeah. I want to add to that, Joe, really great points in like the needing, a change up or a switch up, and I think that sometimes as coaches that we can also get ahead of it because they might start canceling appointments for reasons that, are unlike them. Like say if they were super consistent before and all of a sudden, or they're showing up late. That's what I happened with some of my early morning people, and I can see that they're tired. Or this happened to me a couple times over the holidays where a couple clients, I could see they were burning out, like you mentioned, Joe, with your clients. So we switched it up, got ahead of it, and changed the routine a little bit. So there are signs that we can see as coaches, and we can get ahead of all of that as well. Sometimes, not all the time. And again, not all the time can we continue that relationship with them if they choose to part ways. So
yeah, true. True that. True that. Sometimes you could sift out the BS. You could see it coming.
Oh, yeah.
Just you could see like, oh, these excuses, or oh, they're late, or oh, they can't make it today, and it's just kind of shit. Here we go. They're falling back in old habits. It happens though. We've all been there. All right. So what's our next one here? Let's go to our next topic here.
So we'll talk about different types of coaching styles and how to the emotional buy-in that your clients can have with you. So we can treat it as a transaction, right? So give them their workout, see them next week, not really delving into other things, or it can be more relational where we learn about them as a human being, right? We know their family. We know that it's their, kids,
Graduation.
Track meet this weekend, and it's like a really big race for them, or like we know what they do for a living and how that might impact how they show up at a workout, or their hobbies, goals, what they're passionate about. And definitely once we delve into the relational aspect, our clients will typically enjoy their workouts and enjoy working with us a lot more. So so what is one thing, Alex and Joe, that you haven't checked in on with one of your clients personally outside of fitness this month?
We haven't checked.
Yeah. And maybe one thing you have, like what's something you've checked in about and something you haven't checked in about? Like, for example, I was talking earlier, like I just put all my clients' birthdays in my phone recently because I missed a client's birthday. And like, I feel like I dropped the ball on that one because that's something I should have known. I've been working with them for a while. And then, something else I mentioned, the track meet, one of my client has two kids that are a sprinter and they do high jump. So I always love hearing about her experiences over the weekends with all the track meets and stuff and keeping up with that because I know she's excited about it. So what are two things that maybe you guys have experienced recently?
Well, if you don't mind, Joe, I could take that one to take the lead on that one real quick. So I mean, I kind of want to talk about that, but also like reiterate like the transactional and relational. Like I'm a very relational person, but it takes a lot of energy out of you. So just be careful of that as a coach, like how much energy you're expending and where you're expending it. Because these are transactional things that we're doing. We're offering a service and they are getting benefit from it, right? That's why they're with us. So it's you don't have to make it as plain as like, here's your workout, see you next week, but we do want to stay on topic. And a lot of times I feel like when people get too emotionally involved, there's some lines that can be crossed, right? Like where they feel like they can get away with a little bit more or run late or do other things. And you got to remind them, hey, this is also transactional and it's my time, whether you're doing it in person or online, right? But I'm a very relational person in general, right? So like I know a lot about my clients, their families, and their upcoming trips and how they're doing. First thing I do check in with them is like, hey, like I do a little triage test, a little wellness test, like, hey, how you feeling? Mentally, how you feeling physically? Is there anything broken? I always make the joke, are you broken or just sore like normal, right? Um, so like, yeah, I do that little check-in with them right at the beginning of any type of session that we're doing, if it's a live session. And if it's online, then I touch base after the workout, or maybe just if I haven't heard from them a little bit, I'll touch base and just do a quality check. Um, but yeah, I mean, beyond that, like, it depends on how many clients you're working with at one time as well. Like what kind of overload are you taking? If I'm working with 10 people, it's a little slower or something like online, then I have the time to like relationally, ask people how they're doing. But if I'm working with 50 people at one time, it's really hard to get to know all 50 people in that kind of
Mhm.
capacity. And you'll get to know the people. I don't know, certain people are just drawn to each other, right? And they're easy to talk to as well. And that's part of our job as coaches, being easy to talk to. You become a personal coach, a therapist, and a DJ all in one. So I think it's just kind of hit or miss, like which ones become more transactional or which ones become more relational. What's your take on that, Joe?
No, I completely agree. So one of the things when I became a trainer, one of the things that I made sure that I did was be approachable and be personable. I mean, they don't want a robot to stand in front of them, tell them, "Hey, do this, do that, do that." They want someone who can communicate with them and essentially be that buddy, that gym bro, if you will.
Mm,
That's one of the things that I strive very, very, passionately at trying to achieve every time I'm with a client. So like asking them how their day was, knowing what they do for work, and also I always ask what they do for work because I use what they do for their job and put that into the workout plan. So if they're on their feet all day long, then I'm going to tailor it a little differently versus someone sitting in a cubicle all day long. So I want to
nice.
know what they do for work. I want to know how they do it, and I want to know, how long they're working each day, because that also will determine, how long my workouts may be with them.
Yeah.
How hard I need to go on certain days. Like if they have, early days on Fridays, because I know some places do that, then I know, hey, if you're working on a Friday, we're going to go a little bit harder. Or Thursday, we might go a little bit harder because you'll have a better recovery time on Friday.
Right.
So I try to get real personal with that in that aspect because it helps for me as a coach. It helps drive the training, but also for them, it gives them that trust and confidence in me. They see me instead of as a coach, they see me as a friend. They see me as a companion.
Yeah.
They see me as somebody they can talk to, relate to, and all that good stuff. Now, one of the things that I can do a lot better at is getting on a more personal level with their families. Now, if I had a client or have a client that's been with me for, I'll say probably like 6 months or more, I know a good amount about them because I like to talk with them when they're working out. I like to get inside their heads because if they start quitting on themselves, I want to know that before they know that. So that way I can, tailor something on the fly to keep them out of their own head.
Yeah.
So that's why I like communicating with them during the plan. But I'm going to know about their families, their children, things like that. But at the starting gate, I can do a lot better job of doing that because that might help build a bridge quicker with the trust and confidence they'll have in me if I can start that a lot earlier.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think like just what you said there at the end is so key for any coaches listening out there, is like building that rapport, that trust and confidence, right? In general. Because it's like, dude, you're asking these people to get out of their comfort zone. Like, who are you to ask them to do this? And obviously they want help and they need help, but they don't really know you at first. So building that rapport, building that trust and confidence is gonna assure them that you're guiding them in the right direction, and they're going to follow you even when they don't believe in themselves, even when
Yep.
you're like, hey bro, I need you to do like 5 more reps. Hey man, I really need you to hit this this quota today on your macros. You're doing great, I need you to keep it up. They're not going to want to do that shit. The shit isn't easy. It's hard at times, but you know what, when they have someone that they believe in and they trust, and is there for their best interests, like they'll do it, and that's so powerful what you just said, man. So thank you. So yeah, if you're a new coach out there, if you're a coach in general, like building that rapport, building that trust factor is huge. It's monumental in helping these people achieve their goals, right? So, what's a coach challenge we can give to everyone, Jaclyn, out there? Everybody listening.
Well, if you don't have their birthdays programmed
Yeah.
in your calendar, I
Yeah.
just did mine today.
Yeah.
Double check that, because that's the way people feel seen, right?
Yeah.
And important to you, especially like for me, if you've worked with them for a while. So
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Yeah. Write down one thing like that, a client that you haven't checked in, right? So like birthdays would be a huge one. That's an easy one to start with for sure, right?
Should be in the paper.
Remember their birthday, please.
Put it in your calendar.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, let's move on to our next section here, Joe. What do we got going on for section 3?
All right, so we're going to talk about systems and communication that keeps clients hooked. So talking about systems here, okay? So retention isn't random; it's systematic. So these are the things that, as a coach, what you need to be doing. Okay, number one, progress check-ins. Okay, you can do this every 4 weeks at a minimum. Celebrate small wins. Tweak the plan. Show that you're paying attention. Don't be a robot, like I mentioned earlier. Be fluid with it, and everyone likes a good attaboy every now and then. So make sure you're handing them out when it's due, and check in on them. Second one, your CRM and school notes. Track your birthdays, life events, injuries. All right. Reach out at the right times. Jaclyn, you're putting her clients' birthdays in today. That's awesome. Other milestones too for people, like anniversaries, things like that. Those are things that we should be, if our client is comfortable sharing that information with us, that is something that we need to be tracking, so that way we can be more approachable and personal with them. And then thirdly, unexpected messages. So when we reach out to our clients, then not giving the low hanging fruit of, hey, how's your workout going, man? How about something more of, hey, how's your energy this week? Or how's that new job going? How's the things like that. So asking them more thought provoking questions, open ended questions, and being a little bit more in tune with them and what they got going on in their lives.
Heck yeah, man. Good stuff, Joe. Good stuff, Joe. I think like that last one too. Again, I like to like last is not always most pertinent, but it's always just so powerful. It's like, dude, the unexpected messages. I always tell people this, man. And they're doing more studies and more scientific scholarly like reviews and studies on this, right? Of the body and mind being one. For so long, scientists be like, hey, the body is one thing, the mind is another. They're separate. And like now they're coming so much more like your body and mind being one. So like when you say unexpected messages, it's not just about like, hey bro, how's your workout going, dude? Hey man, how you feeling physically? Like, no, dude, how are you mentally? How are you spiritually right now? Where's your energy level at? Like, where are you at mentally? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling energized, depressed, like sleepy, tired? Like where are you at? Like, because if you check in like mentally with them, like the physical aspects are going to be right in line, right? Most of the times, as well as physically, if they're feeling fucking great, then mentally they're going to be feeling pretty damn good,
Yep.
So it's just, they're so hand in hand. So it's not just your every like, hey bro, how's that workout the other day? It's like, no man, like, dude, how are you doing today, John? Like, how are you feeling like mentally? That's, I guarantee you, dude, your clients, you ask them that question, be like, damn, dude, no trainers ever asked me that before. You're gonna stand out, like that you actually care. So I love that stuff. Anything you got on that?
Well, that's where it's going to help with retention, because that's what they look at, because they see you now as a friend.
Right.
You're actually asking them, about them, not about the workout that you made. So that's the in between your scheduled sessions, that's how you build that retention.
Right, for sure, man, for sure. I agree with you 100%. Cool. So that's great on that topic. What do we got for number 4? Let's keep moving on.
All right, so 4, we're going to talk about personalization and milestone tracking. So we kind of already touched base a few times on this just a little bit, but progress isn't just about body fat or weight. Okay, so we're tracking strengths, PRs. That's a huge thing for a lot of my clients that I've had in the past was their PRs that they hit. Movement quality. I know a lot of my older clients, that is a huge thing. I actually trained my father, and he just had a hip surgery, and the doctor just cleared him to start training again. And
Nice.
his movement quality, that is a huge goal of his, and we're hitting it. Just yesterday, I helped him move a couch yesterday, and he was moving. He's like, "Hey, look at this, Joe." I was like, "That's right on, Pop." I was like, "Don't be slacking on me now, because I am your son, but I'm your trainer too."
Love that.
Then we got the mindset shifts, and then lifestyle habits like your sleeping and stress habits, things like that. All these things we need to be tracking as coaches, and that way we can get a better insight of our clients. So clients should always have a quarterly goal in place. So when they hit a goal, awesome. Immediately set another one. Never let there be a dull period between goals being set. Always have a goal. Me personally, I like to kind of have about like 2 to 3 goals for my clients that I'm tracking. They may not be understanding these goals, but based on what they're telling me and their personality, like I'm like, okay, hey, if I had this quality of what he possesses or she possesses, this is probably what I'm looking at. So I already have stuff lined up in the pipeline, and then when we smash a goal, then I'm like, hey, hey, we hit this, it's awesome. So hey, we're gonna continue on, but hey, and I try to steer them in the best course of action for them based upon them and what they were wanting when they began. Sometimes the goals change night and day, and they do a 180-degree difference. I've had people wanting to build muscle, and then all of a sudden they want more flexibility. And it's like, okay, hey, and I like to understand why that was. Like, hey, we were trying to get big and strong, and now all of a sudden we're not really caring about that. We want to get more flexible. What's going on? And
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it's usually, from my experience, it's like, hey man, I was playing with my kid or my grandkid, and I noticed like I was really tight, and I just wasn't flexible. I just want to be more flexible. I don't really care about being strong anymore. It's like, hey,
Right.
well, what if I told you we could do both?
Yeah, exactly. That's the key. Let's do both. It's funny because like I've that's happened to me so many times too. Even in my own, fitness career, I guess you can call it, or just my life and lifestyle is like, and I'm victim like everybody else, where I'll see someone like go scrolling on social media or like TV or whatever. And you'll see this dude, he's fucking giant and he's fucking big and ripped, and you're just like, fuck, I want to look like that guy. So like my goal is like I'm gonna put on as much muscle mass as possible. And then I see another dude who's like super lean and he's like fucking just ripped. And I'm like, oh, I want to look like that guy. So like, okay, I'm not going for the bulking anymore. Now I'm going for like I need to cut. And like
Yeah,
so we all fall victim, to that whole
it's funny you say that. When I first started out as coaching, I actually had printouts of superheroes, and when
yeah.
they come in, because I'm sure you see it a lot, where you have clients they know their goal, but they don't know how to articulate their goal to the coach. So like those people that I get in front of me, I just start pulling out superhero pictures. I'm like, all right, hey, this is Thor. Like, are you looking at that? Like, oh, that's too big. I'm like, okay, hey, this is Ant Man. What do you think about Ant Man? Like, oh, that's too small. All right, hey, Captain America. That's it right there. I'm like, all right,
There it is.
go for the Captain America body. Let's do it.
Captain America. There it is, man. That's so true, dude. That's perfect. Yeah. And well, the other thing to reiterate again, it's just not all about looks and strength. Like what you're talking about, mindset shifts, right? And like lifestyle habits and sleep and stress. There's so many goals like we could look at. A lot of times, clients will fall victim of like, oh man, I didn't lose that 5 pounds. Well, you did lose 5 pounds of body fat. You put on 3 pounds of muscle, so you only lost 2 pounds, right? So we don't look at the scale. But like a lot of people just fall into that. Like, hey man, how are you sleeping? When you came to me, remember you're sleeping like 5, 6 hours a night, waking up constantly throughout the night. How are you sleeping? And they're like, oh shit, man, you're right. I've been like hitting 8 hours a night, like 5 days a week. Like, okay, there's a win, right? So I think focusing on the wins
Oh
is a
yeah.
big part of that, right? Like, and it doesn't always have to necessarily be like looks or aesthetics that are always wins. So
That I was mentioning I trained my dad. I trained both my parents, my mom and my dad. And my mom, she had a hip surgery, a hip replacement, and a knee replacement, and she's stubborn. I get my stubbornness from her, and she had that all done in the same time frame. And she we were training after she recovered. We were training, and she was like, "Look, the scale's not changing." I'm like, "Mom, look at the mirror. Like, stop
yeah,
getting on scale. Look in the mirror." She like looks, and I have mirrors up in my gym in my house, and she stood in front of the mirror. She goes, "What am I looking at?" I was like, "Look at your figure. Like, yeah, you have a figure now. Like, you're not you're losing fat, but you're gaining muscle mass, and that's good because the more muscle that you promote on your body, the more fat you're going to burn off." So I
yeah,
went down science with her on that one. And then that changed her mindset because now she wasn't worried about the scale number. She was more worried about like, okay, how am I feeling? Because I asked her, I was like, like, do you feel good? Do you feel like you're losing weight? She's like, yeah, but the scale says I'm not. I'm like, don't worry about that. That's
Yeah.
just the scale just tells you how much weight overall is on top of it. It's not telling you how much of that is muscle, fat, bone, water. It's not saying any of that. So don't worry about that. Or like, let me worry about that. I need you to worry about enjoying it and feeling good. And that changed her whole mindset, everything about it. So, yeah, the mindset changes is something definitely that is important.
Yeah, for sure, man. I know Jaclyn over here works wide range of clients too, anywhere from like 20 years old all the way up to what, like 75,
84.
84,
Oh,
right?
wow.
So it's like it's gonna be different goals for different levels
Yeah.
and different types of clients and different athletes, and recognizing that. And like Joe was talking about, movement quality might be one, for some people are gonna be looking for strength, some people are gonna be looking for all of it. So yeah, pretty cool. What about some of your older clients that you work with? What are their main goals, would you say, that you set with them?
Well, it's interesting. Well, a lot of my older clients were working around pre-existing conditions, whether it be injuries or disease, right?
Yeah.
So gaining strength, and a lot of stuff's kind of qualitative. For example, like persistent low back pain, right? After not being able to stand and do dishes at the sink without like low back pain, and after focusing on core and glute strength for time, they can actually stand and do the dishes and
Yeah.
not have that pain, so that those are kind of some qualitative um, movement, well, not movement quality, but outcomes of movements that we focused on that we can track, right?
Yeah.
um, I would say, that
A lot of
mostly.
it's movement. Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
it
Just being
is
able to
movement.
stand up,
Yeah.
and like without pain, or just being
Yeah,
able to
or
like
being able to like do
step off a curb.
stand up from a bench. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Or a
Yeah.
20-inch box or 24-inch where we're at,
Yeah.
and not having to use momentum
Yeah.
or their hands to push them up, right?
Yeah.
Or the TRX, they can actually do it. Maybe they could do 10. So that's huge because that's them getting off from honestly the toilet seat, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or their couch.
Yeah.
Um, so
Like I said, stepping off a curb, carrying the
mhm,
groceries in. There's so many things
mhm.
that we can focus on. That different types of right, different types of PRs,
Wins, yeah,
wins. Yeah.
wins in functional fitness, but
Cool.
yeah.
Right on. Thank you. Right now, let's talk about community and retention. Right, we'll move on to number 5 here on our list. Community equals retention, right? It's a weapon. It's a good weapon to have in our arsenal there. So here's what the wild card is: community equals retention. Most clients aren't just motivated by their individual results; they stay because they feel part of something bigger. So creating a community, I think a lot of people that do in-person training, right? Online, it's a little bit easier to create that community, but there's so many online tools that we can use for like our in-person training as well. But like creating a little, I don't know, Slack channel, right? Or WhatsApp. And for Ignite Fitness, we use School, right? For our community, our open community. But creating where people want to be a part of something bigger than themselves, right? So I think that's huge. And like when they like feel like a part of the community, they don't want to let the community down. Not only themselves down, but they don't want to let the community down, right? So I think creating something like that is something that a lot of coaches underutilize. Um, so like I would create like I said, if you got like several clients out there, connect with them, man. Even if they're all different ages, all different goals, all different stages in their fitness, journey. Um, get them to connect with each other, right? Because they're in it together and they have that commonality, and that commonality is you, right? That you're the one helping them, you're the one guiding them, and they all trust in you, right? We talked about that earlier. So I think creating something like that's pretty important. Um, so like create something like that, tag 3 clients, especially those who've been quiet. Tag them and encourage them, give them shout outs, give them accolades, comment on different posts you guys do, things like that. Create your own like Instagram pages, whatever it is. Start to create your own little community. I don't care if it's 2 people or if it's 2,000 people. Like start to create a community and they're going to feel a part of something. Um, yeah. So you guys got anything to say on that? I know you guys are all part of the Ignite as well. You guys coach on the platform. You guys have seen the school community. It's starting to grow more and more. We're pretty excited about that. But like, how do you guys feel about community?
Yeah, I think the community is very, very important. I mean, the community, you can go, and it's such a large pool when we start talking about the community, because I mean, you not only do you have the coaches and trainers, but you also have the clients as well, and then you got like the community being so intact and strong. I know for me, like I'll come across a client that they have an issue that I've never faced before, and I'll go to. I know that there's this other trainer here that's dealt with someone who had the exact same or something very similar. I'm like, hey, how did you approach this? How did you do this? And that's how I grow as a coach, based on the community or through the community. That helps me out and also helps them out. And then people know like, hey, I know Joe, you had this in the past. What's your take on it? How do you feel about this and that? And you know. It's just how we all grow. So I mean, it's very important. It's important for me, and it should be important for all the other coaches.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, yeah, in regards to community, I think as I've transitioned more out of in-person training and having solos, right, and more into the online fitness coaching, um, you need to free up time because you only have so many hours in a day, and maybe you don't want to lose a client, but you can find clients that would work well together. So something that I've done that's been really awesome in building community within like my clients and freeing up my time for more online coaching is finding clients who are in similar situations, have similar goals that I think might get along really well, and offering small group training instead. So I recently got, I've done small group training before and done this, but more recently, three of my clients and I'm meeting with them together instead of separately, right? I freed up 4 hours of my time.
Yeah.
They save money. I'm, making more per hour with them. But they also now have others that will motivate them to continue coming and maybe try different things like a group class or what have you. And I think that is also important in building community, as long as your clients are comfortable with moving in that direction, right? And that just takes a conversation. So that's kind of been something I've done to free up more time instead of being, so forward facing with solos every week.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
And that's opened me up because I think a lot of personal trainers do get burnt out doing solos and being so face to face, and they want to transition to online, but they don't know a way to do that. But yeah, it helps the clients and then it helps me as well.
Yeah.
To help more people, which is the goal.
Yeah, for sure. So the more plugged in they feel, the more loyal they'll be, really, right, into that community. I'm going to give a little Ignite Fitness coaches tip, or whatever you want to call it, like master's tip. We are in a technologically advanced age, right? So there's so many different options on social media when it comes to communities like Facebook. There's all these private Facebook groups. Instagram, there's a bunch of communities on there now popping up. And what's cool about the private Facebook groups is, or public Facebook groups, however you want to look at it, I'm going to give you a little insight, is I'm not one to go on there and just like promote my services and like just go straight in there. But like, dude, go find like-minded people. There's so many people out there in the world that are like-minded, and they're not all trainers, so go join up some group, like if you're a bodybuilder, if you're into CrossFit, or if you're into marathons or whatever it is, dude, go find that group, go find your tribe, be a part of the community, talk to people. There's a lot of great insight, and feel free to throw out there once in a while that you do online training. I guarantee you, if you're part of a large group and you're a substantial member in that group, if you're giving great information and advice and free advice and tips and stuff, and you throw out there once in a while, hey, by the way, I do my own online personal training, if anybody's ever interested, you'll get some clients from those communities. You will. So that's just a little free tip there for everybody that's listening. Join up some communities, be a part of it, be a part of the fitness movement. Right on. So thanks, guys. We had a really great message, I think, given today by all coaches, and hopefully you guys listening take something away from all this. So we'll close it up here. We'll do a little Q&A. So let's say, retention isn't complicated, guys. It's the result of small intentional actions that are done consistently, just like working out. So here's like some assignments for coaches out there that are listening. Personally check in with one of your clients that you haven't talked to outside of workouts. Get to know them a little bit more. Review your client list and who needs a fresh milestone, who's not, who doesn't have fresh goals and milestones. And then if you guys do, like, create a Slack, create some kind of, WhatsApp. There's so many different channels out there that you guys can use to create like group, text messaging, things like that. Create your own Facebook, create your own Instagram, page, whatever it may be, and start to tag 3 of your clients who've kind of gone quiet in that community. Um, so let's open the floor. Like, what are your go-to retention strategies? Where do you feel stuck when it comes to keeping clients long-term? Those are the questions we have for you guys. So write those ones down. So like, what are your go-to retention strategies, and where do you feel stuck in keeping clients long-term? Write them down, and then go for it and try to. If you put it on paper, then that's how you solve it. Here are coach Q&A prompts that we have. I'll ask Jaclyn and Joe these questions. Um, who has a favorite personal touch point strategy that they use regular? So like, what's the best way you guys do it? Text these days? You guys give a personal phone call, a letter, an old school letter, like a thank you? How do you guys do it? Who has a personal like touch point? Maybe tag them in a post. How do you guys do it?
I like personally doing a text. Uh, for many things. Number one, if they're busy, they can see that text at any time. But two, I know they're going to read it. 9 times out of 10, people are going to. There's a text message, they're going to click on it. So I know they're going to at least see what I'm talking to them about. But that's my favorite one. It's my go-to one for just about everything.
Heck yeah. How about you, Jack?
I also text as my number one.
Random. Just
Yeah.
random text. Just let them know you're thinking of them.
Yeah, or just like if I know they worked really hard and one day, and I'm just gonna check in to see their soreness level, or just congratulate them again because they pushed a little harder than usual, or what have you. Or if they had they came in and they were tired, and I know stuff was going on, like I'll just check in too.
For sure. So. Yeah. One that I used to do, guys, I'm no kidding you. I'm one of those old school guys that used to like burn CDs when you first could burn CDs and stuff. So like, I don't have the time nowadays, or maybe I'm making that excuse, but I used to like create playlists for people and just send it to them, let them know I was thinking of them, and be like, hey man, here's a badass playlist for you, like through Spotify or something. Actually, it was Pandora too. So, but yeah, that was a unique way to do it. Honestly, I just shoot out text or something and just touch on people. I'll usually shoot them a message in school, like in our Ignite community, right? Just see how people are doing. But yeah, that's kind of with my coaches that we're working with. Yeah. So here we'll move on to the next one. What challenges are we facing right now with client engagement? So like, what is the challenge? I'll start with that one. The challenge is there are so many different options out there, right? And like social media, people have an attention span of a goldfish. So like a lot of times it's like, dude, we need to stimulate people, and like it's hard to keep them engaged unless you're constantly creating something new. And I love finding those people that are okay with the mundane and the routine, and kind of and helping them learn that that's not a bad thing necessarily in life, to have that routine, to have that discipline, to have it be mundane at times. It doesn't always have to be super exciting or some new workout. It's okay if we stick to the same things in that routine, right? And that's how we build a foundation. So I think that's part of it, is like there's so many different options. People are always looking for like the new thing, and you'll see people putting videos and shit out there too. Like everybody's trying to like one up the other person's exercise. I'm like, bro, just go do dumbbell incline bench. You'll fucking grow your chest. You don't have to do some crazy cable crossover or like behind the back, like weird shit people are doing. So I think that's part of the tough thing that I see, is like people are kind of get sold on that, and they think that they need to be doing something totally unique and different to get the stimulus they're looking for. What are challenges you guys face right now with like client engagement?
Joe, you can go first.
Yeah, I would say just honestly getting people away from the social media trends.
Yeah.
That I mean, you mentioned a little bit on that right there, but that's been in the past where I'll try to get like a group of people together, start that community, or keep the community moving in a good direction. And then you get these people, some of the clients, like, hey, I follow this person on TikTok and blah 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 blah. And I don't think I want to do that type of workout because this person does this workout. And look at them. I'm like, yeah, they didn't start off just doing that workout, man. You're just starting off. Like, We need to build up to that point type of thing. But
Yeah.
uh, that's been kind of like a huge challenge of mine to get people to be, essentially the buy-in for them. I do good at selling it, and then by the time I'm done talking to them, and they're convinced, they know like I got their best interest at heart, and then they go home and then turn on their phone and see some jacked person talk about something else, and it's like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah. I hear you. It's painful. It's painful. What's you, Jack?
I think mine's more just like their personal obstacles. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And like helping them, like continuously helping them overcome
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And whether it be like lack of sleep because they're a new mom and it's really hard for them to get in and really hard to fit in their workouts, and like finding creative ways to keep them moving toward their goal, whether it be, slower than they anticipated or not. Or different injuries or disease they may face and not know about. I think just keeping with them on that and helping them stay on track and trying to stay one step ahead so that they'll like be in it for the long run for themselves. And um, I would say that's the biggest thing, is just their personal obstacles in life. So
Right on. Well, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. So, Matt, no matter what challenges you guys are facing as coaches or your clients are facing, keep doing your thing, keep grinding. Stay positive, keep trying to help as many people as possible. And it all comes back around tenfold. It really does. So, yeah, check us out, Ignite Fitness. Right? You can check out Joe. Joe, where can they find you online?
So the Instagram, I'm pretty active on that. You can look me up as Joe's underscore sweatshop. You'll find me there, and I get my link trees on there as well, so you can get on my Facebook and everything else I got from there.
Perfect, man. And how about you, Coach Jack?
I'm on Instagram too, Jaclyn Compton Fitness.
Nice.
Just my name.
Jaclyn Compton.
Not as cool as the name.
Jaclyn.
Yes.
Jaclyn Compton, Compton.
Fitness. Yeah.
All right, cool. Right on, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys coming. Be sure to tune in next time. We'll be talking about something fun, probably be about nutrition. I think we're going to talk about healthy fats, things like that, and how they affect your hormones. So that'll be an interesting episode to check on. So thanks everybody for listening today, and guys, keep doing what you're doing, keep grinding, rise stronger, ignite brighter. Let's make it happen. Thank you.